Okay, so I did a quick test. I imagine my audio is probably hard to hear because it was for the test. But I'll do this quickly here. This is Codename Samsara. So DAE, that's the Discord bot. Um, there's some kind of thrown in documentation here. I think this only has, well, no, okay, so this has been done so far. This is the encryption, decryption stuff. That's how it works. You can just do that in Discord. Um, and then for archive access, this is the idea that I'm going with. So you can specify all the way down to the day, but not necessarily having to, and then tags or not. Um, can't remember the difference between filter and index, but I'll come back to that when I get there. And then night, that's what we're getting to right now. So the nameless index timeline engine, you kind of just put in a bunch of information here, so I'll quickly go through it. Each thing that you archive is considered an event, and so they have a name, a date, and some tags down here. And there's evidence, so let's say that you are archiving a Theo transmission. You would want to get screenshots of everything that he said. You'd want to put it into text, describe it, not word for word, while providing those screenshots. And then if there's any audio or video that comes with it, that can go in there too. This is where the explanation goes. And so all of this is chucked over here, and it's kind of formatted here. And the data files go right here. And so this is all right here. These three things. And then I'm going to come over here to the actual archive. So I'm actually just going to delete everything. We have an empty archive. There's nothing in it. In fact, I'll even go a step further to demonstrate some of the unnecessary bug fixes I put in here, I suppose. So this is the archive, the internal archive. So it keeps track of everything on drive by, well, using this, basically. So I've just deleted it. It doesn't exist. And we're just going to run the bot and see what happens. Taking its dang time. I don't think I deleted the PyCache, didn't I? Sometimes if I delete the PyCache, it takes longer. Other times I hit Control-C and it works. I don't know why. That's what happened there. So whatever. Some sort of background task I imagine is being run that doesn't stop. I don't know why. It's completely random when that occurs. But it seems to be only a manual running issue. Like once the thing's running, it won't run into that. As far as I know. So it's fine. Let's do a bunch of shit right now. I mean, you can kind of see there's a folder that just popped up here. I'll go through all this input in a second. Actually, first let me show you here. This is the configuration file. So this is the output configuration. I have it currently set to custom. And so all this stuff you're seeing corresponds to this, although there is, I mean, a lot more that you could see, a lot less. Depends on what you want, what you're working on. So, first thing it does, it cleans itself. It says, look, I'm looking for, or I've got these files in my root directory, which is this, is the workspace directory, and I got these files. So I've got all this stuff, that's all the stuff I need, nothing changes. And then workspace, everything in it is deleted, and so one thing I actually would like to do is move the location of this cleaning process to after this directory is filled, so that in the future we don't have some amount of storage being stored locally. That's ridiculous, because we already have it on the cloud. We don't need it to necessarily need it in two places. And it gets deleted anyway, so. Then it scans drive, and it says, well, I've got a bunch of folders, files that I know where they're at, but they must be there. So we're going to see if they are. And if you remember, I deleted that archive earlier, so it is copying the IDs into the database. Now, if that were still running, and then there's also a setting I can press, because I frequently just delete the database and then run it each time the bot is run to test that it works from scratch. Kind of random side data though. At the end of the day, this is scans it, puts all this in Drive. If it has that already, then it scans Drive, determines if there's any mismatches. If there are, then it flags a warning and fixes itself as best as it knows how. Cloud integrity, so this is, well, it doesn't matter, I'll show you next, because it had to rebuild the archive, it doesn't do anything. And then new events, so we've got one, it is this. It was added to the internal database. It was correctly identified as not being on Drive. And this is, or at least was important prior, because if something was in the database but not Drive, and like maybe I had to delete it, fix it over here, it wouldn't sort of fix itself. And this is just one way to, one of the things, many things it does to right itself when it makes mistakes. And then so, this is the archival process, and it is chock full of self-writing. So that wasn't found, created it, took the ID, archived it in the internal database. Now if there is already a tag in the database, but it's not found on Drive, deletes the database, creates it, does this, etc., etc. It doesn't run into bugs here really. This here is sort of past this point is all new for the most part. So it's moving all the media files, and now I used to have them be moved actually, now they're being copied. Because, well, I'll show you what this actually has done now. Over here, we got years, that's fancy and nice. The one event, that's its day, there's the event. Document incoming here soon, that's the next update. But the archive currently, well, we've got the text description. No videos are uploaded. There's an image, and there's a GIF. Now the length of this GIF, there's only one image, I can't demonstrate right now. But the length of it corresponds to the time it takes to read the summary that we provided. And that is, the reason for that is because the images are actually set to be shown while there's like a text-to-speech reading narration over it for the videos when I get to that point. I've already got video, like, I can take two video files, turn them into one, put them together, stuff like that. So I've got the module and it works, but I need to learn more so that I can keep working on it. And this is similar to the video files where it puts them all together. This does this with audio. It's all just standardization stuff for the document that will be here soon. But now, let's say, now I'm going to do two things real quick. First things first, I actually want to come into, I think it's events maybe. Yep. And I want to or I do want to comment this. So this is the command that I use to delete the database. So now, it's gone all the way down and it says it couldn't find a year file, so I'm making a new one. Now we're going to run the, whoops, not so fast. It is actually built to run indefinitely, so sometimes you'll see it loop. That's intentional, unless it's looping very fast. I have come into weird bugs where it just loops exponentially faster, and I've been waiting for that to cause bugs, but it doesn't, so I'm like lucky as hell. So now you see there are a few new things going on here. I'll run through that quickly too. Also, that doesn't exist. I'll get to that too. So I'll pause here for the years document when it gets there. Good as. Yikes. Okay, there's a little bug, whatever. I'll get to that later. But the idea is that it determines if this exists, if it does, and if it's the same one that it is in the database, then it does nothing. Otherwise, it will regenerate the one, and then I can't remember. There's a few other algorithmic things to ensure that it refills itself with proper data. If that were somehow deleted, so we'll come down here, and now you noticed it kicked me back to the root directory during this. So I'll show you where that happened. Oh yeah, dogs right there. Yeah, so it finds this event, and it already exists, but it was identified as new. And this is because it doesn't have a document generated, so it's either corrupted or incomplete in some way. And so because of this, this event is just straight up deleted, and then regenerated from scratch all the way up to the document if that exists. And if the document is correctly, and the video that happens just before the document are successfully generated, I suppose, then it doesn't do anything. The event wouldn't be revealed. But now, you saw I just deleted this file here. Why don't, I mean, you saw me actually at the beginning, I deleted 2001, and then that reappeared. So that was something else I worked on. If something disappears in Drive, that is what this is, validating cloud integrity. It makes sure everything is where it should be, and that it is what it should be. So it's checking by ID, not title. And I think that's pretty much it for now. I gotta figure out what the heck is going on with this. It doesn't seem too crazy, but not too crazy either. Yeah, it's not bad. I've been, now, the proper way to do this would be to just re-query the, so what year files is, I'm like saying, give me every file with a parent ID that matches this folder. So it lists this directory. And then I say, okay, so if there's something with the, well, that's what I should do. I should re-query this. But there, at an earlier point in time, I query it and store it in this. So I'm kind of just like, well, check the same dang files. And that is a little lazy, so that's all I have to do is do that the right way, re-query it. But yeah, that's the point. So let me fix this real quick by turning on the refresh database. That's actually where the bug came from, because I haven't tested without a full database in a while. Update doesn't even work if I make it portable version bug or something. And then I'll hop over here. Wasn't there? It was here, yes. Kind of kept my progress here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna redo this to show you and make sure it still works. Blam. Okay, it does not. Give me a moment. See if I can fix it. Oh, I'm wrong. It works fine. It was just doing all this, so I guess it was having a hard time running this at the same time. Okay, yeah, I thought that was the ciphertext for a minute. I was like, there's something horribly wrong with the ciphertext code. But no, it's totally opposite. Yeah, so that's Hells 11 built into DAE. This is actually the bot right here. And so the later commands will be to fetch the stuff that is generated here. So for this test, there would be a document here, and let's say that you wanted to know everything that happened in May 2001. It's my birthday, by the way. You could like query that here, and then say, okay, well here's a video that recaps the month, as well as the month document, which links to all of its